enjoyed his work on such television shows as Boston Public, Soul Food, The Last Man on Earth, and he is the co-host with his lovely wife, Nicole, in the Boris and Nicole Show, soon to premiere on Fox on July the 6th. He is Boris Kodjoe. Good to see you, Boris.
Hey, Rich.
How have you been?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fine. It's been years since I saw you, and I have to describe for the radio audience that it may have been over 10 years since we last saw you, and you've really let yourself go. I mean, you really have let yourself go. I don't know what's happened to you.
You know, life sometimes hits you, and it's tough to recover. So,
yeah.
But I'm ascending. I'm on my way up. You're my role model, and I will just keep plugging away.
Well, I appreciate that,
there.
Boris. I appreciate that. You know, I, as I say, do go way back in that regard. And I think I do remember you said, how can I be more successful? And I said, be a little bit more like me. And then you did. You lost all of your hair.
I did.
And, you know.
But you know what? I did. I did officially let it go at some point. See, that's the difference between the two of us.
And I'm hanging on.
You were desperately hanging on.
Dear life.
For dear life. I knew I was follically challenged when I was 22. That's when my barber said, "Oh, you're losing your hair," and I had a heart attack.
So that's when you first
because
realized.
hair is our manhood. Hair is what we're all about.
See, I went the other direction because, again, for those I mentioned this earlier in the show who need a refresher. You and I met at the old Jimmy V charity golf tournaments that is still not. It was old. It's old now. It was new when we were first started going to it in the late '90s and whatever. I had a full mane, a flowing sort of, you know, like '80s flock of seagulls type mane.
You were traveling with your own wind machine, so to get the effect of the flowing hair.
Yes, and so, but it was like mid-30s where I had that realization too.
But so you just
well, no, this is all I can do. This is it. It is what it is, as they say in the National Football
You don't want to
League.
go all full out.
Well, what do you? I don't think that would be good, though.
I think it would be amazing.
You think so?
Oh my, your head is beautiful, Rich. You got a beautiful head.
You are the first guest to say that to me here on this show,
I'm
so
special.
no one can ever take that away from us.
No.
I'm here with Boris Kodjoe.
Got that special bond.
You and your wife have a new show premiering on Fox July 6th. That's a check your local listing scenario, right?
Yes, absolutely. Different markets, different times.
And so what are you doing with your wife?
Well, first of all, I met my wife on Soul Food, so we are used to the work environment type relationship. We respect each other, we like each other, which is great.
Yes, it is.
You know, we like to be around each other. And we played around with this for 5 years. Wanted to do it for radio first, but then our schedules didn't work out. So last year we looked at each other and said, the timing is right. Let's do this. We just want to share. We just want to connect with people, talking about current affairs as well as parenting, love, relationship, anything and everything that people care about. And, you know, we bring the female and the male perspective, which hasn't happened before. You know, a married couple hosting a talk show.
And it also helps that you and your wife bring members of the opposite sex to the television set.
Oh yeah, well, we try.
You know.
Well,
I mean, you don't even have to try, man. You don't. You know, so it helps that you're just bringing in all forms of demographics.
We're bringing in everybody, all ages, all sexes, and try to make it fun and entertaining, but conscious at the same time.
Sure. And guests, you have guests on this program?
We got to have you on the show.
Is this an official invitation?
You know what? It is an official invitation. You guys are my witness.
Are you shooting?
Actually, you and your beautiful wife, Susie, should come on the show together.
I would love that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, because, again, you met when my wife and I were, quote-unquote, just friends.
Just friends.
You watched the struggle.
I saw what was going on there. I saw it. I saw it.
You had a front row seat to the struggle.
Yeah.
You know,
but you persevered again.
I did.
Just like with your hair. You're just a winner, Rich. I don't know.
I am winning. Yeah. Sure. Boris Kodjoe here on the Rich Eisen Show. I do remember when we first met, we would talk tennis, because that's your sport, right?
That's my sport.
That's your sport. How did you first get, involved in...
3 years old, my dad. And then I became one of the best juniors. And I grew up in Germany. And came over to the States after I had a bad back injury. And I just took one of the scholarships. And my professional aspirations sort of fizzled after my injury, but I stayed connected to sport and everybody that plays it. You know, from Serena and Boris Becker, one of my best friends, and I love the sport. It's a tremendous sport.
Isn't it amazing what Serena has become?
It is beyond imagination.
She's the GOAT.
She is absolutely the GOAT, both sexes. What she has accomplished, she's transcended the sport. She is absolutely a phenomenon, and she keeps going. I mean, she's what, 52 now, and she keeps winning. And she will win.
No, that's the number of tournaments that she's won.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Sorry, I'm confused.
Well, she's got 20, and in terms of majors, and she's going for.
She's going to break Steffi's record. Steffi has 22.
Yeah,
and Serena's going to break her record.
Well, she's going for 21 on the grass at the All England.
She'll win that one as well. There's nobody there. There's Kvitova, there's Halep, Sarapova. That's about it. You know what? I always tell her, I said, the only person that can beat you is you. And I absolutely believe that. There's nobody there who can challenge her if she is playing her regular, normal game.
I just remember when she first burst onto the scene. And I've told this story before, and now that you're here too, I'm with Boris Kodjoe, co-host with his lovely wife, Nicole, of the Boris and Nicole show, premiering July 6th on Fox. I'll tell it here again. I remember when she first came on, and we were Venus heavy on SportsCenter. That's all we're talking about. Venus this, Venus that, Venus is the next coming. Oh, and here comes her little sister. We'll see what she can do. And wow, she's blown them all away. What makes, just from knowing her and being up, what makes her tick? What makes Serena tick?
You know, Serena is the best and most ferocious competitor out there. She's way beyond anybody else in that department. Mentally, she's so strong. And she hates losing more than anybody else that I know. So she works really hard to make sure that she wins. And what's fascinating for me personally is that, you know, from a technical standpoint, she's not the most efficient player, and she has so much more that you can learn and she can add to her game. She is ferocious from the back. She has an incredible service. And she's still not as aggressive as she could be. Like, she's not coming into the net as much as she should. So to think that there's still crazy amounts of potential there and things that she can improve on is scary.
That is scary.
But she could. I mean, she's what, 34 now? 33? She could play another 3, 4, 5 years and win another 10 majors easy.
Why is it so difficult to find the male version of her in this country?
Wow. You know what? I think one of the reasons is culture. I think that it's hard to compete with somebody like a Novak Djokovic or people like that who have grown up in war-torn countries, in environments that are not conducive to being successful in the first place, because they developed a personality, a character, a competitiveness that is almost life and death. And it's tough to find that here because, you know, most people are privileged, especially when they play tennis. So from a cultural standpoint, I think we have to change the approach, starting with junior tennis. There has to be an element to the training, to the coaching that involves teaching a culture, a winning culture. Otherwise, we'll be lacking behind.
So the Compton aspect for Serena is what helped shape her? I think the
Compton aspect has helped, absolutely. The competitiveness, the trying to get out of there at any price. Look at the NBA. I think that there's a parallel story there. Although, you know, we got Jack Sock now, who's a young, very promising player who's made a huge jump in the last year.
Well, he had a good French, right? I mean,
he had a great French. He beat some great players. Physically, he can get stronger and better, but he's got an amazing forehand, a huge serve, and confidence is key. And he's shown some unbelievable confidence these past couple of tournaments.
How fast was your serve back in the day?
My serve was around 130.
You touched 130, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I mean, I was 6'4", so I gotta have a big serve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm here with Boris Kodjoe here on the Rich Eisen Show. You put up a photograph, care of Bonnie Bernstein, on your Instagram account a few weeks ago, and I want to bring it up and I'll describe it for the radio audience because it is from the Jimmy V golf tournament.
That's right.
Probably like circa 1998, 99.
Something like that, yeah.
And it's the karaoke night that used to happen.
The famous karaoke
to finish up the golf tournament, and it's you singing on stage with some guy who I don't know actually, and flanking you on the end is Charles Barkley with an adult beverage, and Stuart Scott in front of you, just boogieing to whatever you guys were singing.
He's looking very focused on what he's doing. He's very focused on his dance moves.
Yeah.
Stuart was always very focused on looking a particular way, very professional in all aspects of the game, dancing, so whatever he was doing.
Well, I would say in whatever way that makes him look best.
That's right.
That's the way I would put it with Stuart.
That's perfectly put.
I know you were tight with him, you and your wife.
Yes,
as well.
we loved Stuart, and he was a tremendous friend, tremendous father. You know, he loves Sydney and Taylor more than anything in life. I mean, Father's Day just passed, so it's pretty fitting to bring him up. But that night was especially memorable because, you know, I came from Germany. I didn't have a lot of experience with this culture here, so they invited me. And Stuart, Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley told me, you know, I didn't drink. I never drank alcohol before. I wasn't into that. So they gave me this bottle and it said lemonade on it. They say, hey, drink this. This is not a beer. And it was Mike's Hard Lemonade. And I had no idea what it was, you know. I just trusted my friends.
Sure.
You know, they were well-meaning and always took care of me, so I trusted them, and I
Yeah.
drank like about 6 of them. And clearly, about half an hour later, I found myself on stage, and this picture that you just saw was the beginning of the karaoke night. So I still had my clothes on.
Was that the night, though, that I don't know if it was that night or another
They raised that money with me taking my clothes off.
night. I did that? I
did
do
that.
remember.
They raised about $40,000 because I took my clothes off.
Well,
And Michael Jordan kept saying, you know, another 10 for the shirt, another 10 for the pants. And everybody kept screaming.
Yes,
and
they did.
Yes, they did. They
All in
raised
the
a lot
name.
of
Hey,
money.
look, all in the name for Jimmy V. Good for you.
You know, I'm a very charitable person, so whatever I need to do in order to help the kids or whoever needs help, I'm there.
I think it might have been the year before then that Charles sat down Jordan in a chair on that stage at the karaoke stage.
I remember that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sat him down and took to a knee and sang I Believe I Can Fly to him.
Yes.
Is one of the
That was
greatest
priceless.
moments I've ever witnessed in person.
We had
in
a
my
lot of
entire
great
life.
moments at that tournament. We
Yeah.
had a lot of great moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was certainly one of them.
And Charles still goes there every year.
Oh yeah, he goes he goes a couple times a year. Even the tournament's just once. He goes there anyway.
Yeah, I
just to
have.
be
I've
around.
been in years. It's always held in early August, which is preseason football. So
That's
it's tough to get to North Carolina.
That's right.
But it's an incredible cause. Jimmy V is an incredible organization and one that now carries on Stewart's name in a way that we wish they didn't have to. But it's tough. It's
Well,
tough
you know
when
what?
I think about it.
He left a great legacy with his daughters, beautiful, beautiful girls, and he was so proud of them. And he was just a phenomenal person, and it's amazing how they have sort of kept on living now with this strategy. I think he prepared them well. Yeah.
Boris, I appreciate you coming on here.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the invitation of coming on your show.
Please,
Now
it's an official invitation.
Now, we've had here, Chris and Chris will attest to this. Jerry Ferrara says, it doesn't mean anything if you say it on the air. It means something if you say it off the air.
Really?
So this is not an on-air invitation, is it?
No, it's an
This is-
off-air
Well,
invitation.
we'll find out in a matter of moments. sir.
We'll see.
We will
We'll see
find
what
out,
happens.
Right? That's the rule.
That is the rule.
100%.
Is my car standing by? Let's.
The Boris and Nicole show premieres the Monday after July 4th weekend, July 6th on Fox, at Boris Kodjoe on Twitter. And you're on Instagram. What are you on Instagram?
The Boris Kodjoe. The.
So somebody.
I used to be Boris Kodjoe, but then I forgot my password, so I couldn't get back in there.
Is that right? You got,
I was so frustrated.
you recreated
I mean, come on. Nowadays, we have, 500 different
You got to write
passwords
them
for
down.
things?
You got to write them down. Look,
Yeah, but then when you write them down, it defeats the purpose of having a password because anyone can read it.
you are a very, and I mean this in the best possible way, a very handsome, well-preserved man, but you're getting older. You got to write stuff down, Boris.
yes,
Okay?
I am.
Just because you look in the mirror and you see that right back at you doesn't mean that age isn't going to come get you. Okay?
I'm just trying to be
careful.
like you, Rich.
All right.
I'm just still trying.
Thank you. That's Boris Kodjoe here on The Rich Eisen Show. We are back with more here on the program. Watch the Boris and Nicole show on Fox, premiering July 6th.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.